How would you solve it differently than the current administration is looking at solving it? Or let's say,
Well, I think them killing the Department of Education kicks off the opportunity for these. It opens the door, I think, to like, well, what would ideal education system look like? Does the factory model really make sense now that there's barely any factory jobs anymore and it's getting overtaken?
right?
Even if we reshore, it's still competing against AI and factory automation. That's not guaranteed to be a dignified high income job forever, and increasingly into the future it's going to be less and less. And then there's all these fields where people are like, we need way more people in these fields of social care, like retirement care. We need people, I'd say, more in the trades again. No one knows how to service an elevator. Roofing is really expensive. I'd like to see more people there so that I could hire someone for cheaper.
Right.
HVAC, all of these fields are going to get like crazy expensive. There's an episode of South Park where they're all sitting in front of Home Depot and like, would you be able to like fix my HVAC? I could like do your taxes. And it's like it flipped where like the blue collar worker was super rich and kind of bid up his contract because no one knows how to do these skills anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to reverse that. We need to start I don't know, white collar jobs look like they're on the chopping block, and that isn't to say that, I don't know, skilled trades where people are working with their hands. I think those are still going to have a lot of demand, but
I think even sports should be removed from education. You should take things like sports away from and like have it separately as a separate entity. Because you look at other countries, they have clubs and whatnot that are separate from their institutions, don't they? I mean, I don't know that 100%, but does like Cambridge have a soccer team? Maybe they do.
I'm thinking maybe if people could choose to develop in what way they want, why not have schools that are sports heavy? Because there's a lot of social skills that you can build off of that, fine motor skills.
No, because most people aren't going to do that for a profession. I mean, it kind of makes it educationally. I mean, that's for like what, the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
Right, yeah.
So I don't think that, at least in public schools, I don't think really that has a place. Maybe in private schools.
Well, I'm saying maybe we should get away from public schools anyway. I would like to see a lot more experimentation as far as all the different ways people educate themselves or their children.
Like clubs and stuff. So I wonder if... Because why should you be paying any additional tuition for anything that's outside of like your education? Like, because half the time your increase in tuition is tied with like, oh, we're going to build a new football stadium or...
True, okay.
Things like that.